Python. Consequently, Yayati became the king. Text 4. King Yayati had 4 younger brothers, whom he allowed to rule the 4 directions. Yayati himself married Dev and Sharmishta, the daughter of Vrishaparva, and ruled the entire earth. So, text 5 as purport. So, please repeat. Shri Raja Uvacha Brahma Rishi Bhagavan Kavyaha Shatrabandhu Cha Nahusha Rajanya Viprayo Kasmat Vivahaha Pratilomakaha. Shri Raja Uvacha Brahmarishir Bhagavan Kavyaha Brahmarishir Bhagavan Kavyaha Shatrabandhuscha Nahushaha Shatrabandhuscha Nahushaha Rajanya Viprayo Kasmad Rajanya Viprayo Kasmad Vivaha Pratilomakaha Vivaha Pratilomakaha. Shri Raja Uvacha Brahmarishir Bhagavan Kavyaha Shatrabandhuscha Nahushaha Rajanya Viprayo Kasmad Vivaha Pratilomakaha. Please repeat. Shri Raja Uvacha. Anyone? Matajis? Shri Raja Uvacha. Meaning? Shri Raja Uvacha Maharaja Parikshit inquired, Brahma Rishihi, the best of the Brahmanas, Bhagavan, very powerful, Kavyaha, Shukracharya, Shatrabandhu, belong to the Kshatriya class, Cha, also, Nahushaha, King Yayati, Rajanya Viprayoho, of a Brahmana and a Kshatriya. Kasmat, how? Vivahaha, a marital relationship. Pratilomakaha, against the customary regulative principles. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, Founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Translation. Maharaja Parikshit said, Shukracharya was a very powerful Brahmana and Maharaja Yayati was a Kshatriya. Therefore, I am curious to know how there occurred this Pratiloma marriage between a Kshatriya and a Brahmana. Purport. According to the Vedic system, marriages between Kshatriyas and Kshatriyas or between Brahmanas and Brahmanas are the general custom. If the marriages sometimes takes place between different classes, these marriages are of two types, namely Anuloma and Pratiloma. Anuloma, marriage between a Brahmana and a daughter of Kshatriya, is permissible. But Pratiloma, marriage between a Kshatriya and a daughter of a Brahmana, is not generally allowed. Therefore, Maharaj Parikshit was curious about how Shukracharya, a powerful Brahmana, could accept the principle of Pratiloma. Maharaja Parikshit was eager to know the cause for this uncommon marriage. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vikas Swaminiti Namine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine. Punyavadi Paschatya Desarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaurabhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Raja Uvacha. Brahma Rishir Bhagavan Kavyaha. Shatrabandhuscha Nahusha. Rajanya Vipro Kasmad Vivaha Pratilomakaha. Translation. Maharaj Parikshit said, Shukracharya was a very powerful Brahmana and Maharaj Yati was a Kshatriya. Therefore, I am curious to know how there occurred this Pratiloma marriage between a Kshatriya and a Brahmana. Hare Krishna. So now we have seen, we entered a new chapter, chapter 18 from Srimad Bhagavatam of Canto 9. So King, here just a recap, I just want to give a recap. Here King Nahashu had 6 sons in Yati. Before that, why we have to discuss this about Yati? So we know that Krishna takes his transcendental birth in the family of Yadu. Yadu is none other than Yati's son actually. He is coming as a descendant. So, Nirbandhe Krishna Sambandhe. So, whatever related to Krishna, we will be discussing. So, here the Yati's father is King Nahusha. He had 6 sons. In that one is Yati. And eldest son, Yati. Yesterday we saw the words in that he rejected this post of king or the head of the state, because he very well know that such posts can be hindrance for self-realization. Later on, it so happened that Nahusha molested King Indra's wife, Sachi, and therefore he was cursed by Brahmanas to become Python. Then followed by that, Yati becomes the king, in which King Yati gets married to Devayani. In this we can see Devayani is a daughter of Shukracharya, who was a Brahmana. And King Yati is a Kshatriya. Here they mention 2 kinds of marriages. This Anuloma and Pratiloma. Usually Anuloma is that a person from Brahmana can marry a woman from Kshatriya or below that Kshatriya or Vaishyas. This is Anuloma marriage. And Pratiloma is, this Anuloma is general and they accepted by, it's commonly performed. Whereas Pratiloma marriage, this Kshatriya king marries a daughter of Brahmana, means ascending. So this is very rarely done, and here is the instance from Shastras. So before going to this, first of all, what is the meaning of this marriage? Prabhupada says in a lecture, this marriage means restriction. You have seen a conditioned soul is always engaged in basic principles of life: eating, mating, defending, and procreation. Eating, defending. So we can see here, this conditioned soul has, in whichever body it has. So these four basic activities are carried out, whether it is in animal life or human life. Animals carry it unrestrictedly. But in human life, everything needs restriction. You can see in Srimad Bhagavatam, a shloka from 11th canto. In that shloka, it's mentioned that whoever involved in such activities, how they are restricted. Like if there is meat eating, he is restricted by making him worship goddess Kali, some demigod worship. So that this restriction is an example. It is said that goddess Kali, it's worshipped in dark moon night by offering this goat sacrifice. Therefore, hardly Amavasya comes in once in a month. So in that way, he sacrifices that meat and take once in a month. In that way, it's restricted. So similarly, marriages, sex life is regulated by marriage. So this marriage is a restriction, not that he can engage in it unrestrictedly. Otherwise, it's an animal life. So how everything happened? We have seen from the beginning, this perversion of spiritual world is the material world. So love of Godhead, it become perverted into lust. And devotional service become perverted into sense gratification. Then whole spiritual world, Krishna is the center actually. Every activity is carried out for the pleasure of Krishna. But here what happened in material world? I, me and mine. These are my activities. So everything came from Nirbandhe Krishna Sambandhe to Aham Ameti. So this is the perversion. How this simple desire of conditioned soul to enjoy independent of Krishna made him fall down in this material world, and everything got perverted. So after coming to this material world, since he has these propensities, what Shastra says is do tapa. Even Lord Brahma was meditating after he born from Lord. He was also meditating. Then he got the answer from Lord Krishna that tapa means doing austerity, penance. By following the process of scriptures, once we perform yajna, which is the key to escape from this material world, then he can attain the spiritual world. This is the secret of whole our whatever system, Varnashrama Dharma, or Krishna conscious, everything. And some intelligent fools may say that, oh, in Shastra it's mentioned we have to give sacrifice to goddess Kali and take goat. So let me do. So Buddha at once, he rejected all at once together, that Shastra, because he came in the time where Vedas were misused to sacrifice animals and encourage meat eating. So Buddha means he once at all, he rejected the Vedas so that he can establish ahimsa. So in this way, according to time plus situation, God takes avatar and he establishes a level of advancement towards spiritual realization. Ultimately, Lord's purpose, Lord has no specific jobs. Out of His costless mercy, He always wants His eternal part and parcel to come back to Him, to release them from conditioned life. So Lord is so merciful. He takes every opportunity to deliver His devotees and non-devotees who are also part and parcel. He is so merciful. He gives every chance to establish this. So in Shastra, whatever this marriage or demigod worship, these are all given to restrict the things which are abominable or which makes conditioned soul to get bind in this material world, especially this illicit sex, meat eating, intoxication, gambling. So it doesn't mean Shastra is giving, so it doesn't mean that it's encouraging. This is because not all are ready to take directly to Krishna conscious or completely become completely renounce, in the sense keeping Krishna as center. No one is ready to take up that process or not so much surrender. So they get this step-by-step elevation to spiritual path. That is what these restrictions and samskaras are meant for. So this whole Varnashrama Dharma, you can see so many restrictions, rules and regulations. Why it is so? To get one from Pravritti Marg, to get one from unrestricted sex enjoyment or alcohol or intoxication, whatever it is, to, in other words, to make that sense enjoyment, restricted sense enjoyment or sense gratification by following Pravritti Marg. This is what Prabhupada mentions in many lectures. And ultimately the goal is Nivritti Marg. Nivritti Marg is a complete renouncing of material life. That means, in other words, putting everything or keeping Krishna as center in our day-to-day life. So Prabhupada says, only when is Akama, means completely free of material desire, then only he can go back to Godhead. So in such situation, we have to surrender to Krishna. That is the ultimate goal of this movement. But Krishna assures us, what? Sarvadharman parityaja mahamekam sharanam raja. If you surrender to me alone, then what happens? Aham tum sarva papebhyo. I will destroy all your sins. Krishna reassures us. So thereby, taking shelter of Krishna means following the process of bhakti. One can get rid of this material life, even in this lifetime itself. So now we can see what is the position of this marriage. Now, this marriage, even though they perform it ritualistically, we have seen like many matrimonies are there. You can see famous in Tamil Nadu is Kalyana Malai, something like that. So ultimately everyone thinking that, because senses are serpentine, it is infected with lust. Everyone, right from childhood, if you can see the schooling, co-education, how this agency of material world works, bringing together the opposite sexes. Say it starts from beginning from the school itself. Before Gurukula was there, only boys were allowed to stay, and their dharma is to serve spiritual master and gain the Vedic education. And girls, they remain at home under the guidance and training of mother. They learn all the Stri dharma, and based on which the rest of the life is built on. But what happened now? Now people think that no, this co-education in schooling and bringing together opposite sex. We think they are children, okay, small. What happens? But there are guna is acting. They also don't know. They may play. You can see there are many boys. Boys can play together. Girls can play. I've seen some instance. Most. This is a natural tendency of opposite sex. This is how Brahma created to get attracted to the opposite sex. So you can see a girl and boy. by they we see them playing, but it's just attraction of opposite sex. And after he gets grown up, then we can see same thing happen. Co-education in colleges. Same thing. I have seen many instances that after schooling they are very enthusiastic to join college just to get means otherwise in our society it's a cultural society, so in no way easily we can mix with females. So I have seen enthusiastically boys joining college just to get association of females or and so on. This is mainly because of our modern society in which especially the cinemas create a havoc. Actually, what is a cinema or film? You can see every film basic theme is hero, heroine, right? And in that hero is a central part, and all others support his roles, either as comedian, dancers, or whatever. This is a thing, perverted reflection of Krishna in material world. Since we cannot perform in day-to-day life, like a group dance with so many girls, no, we are just mimicking Krishna. Since we cannot do just whatever we can do, whatever we cannot do on reality, they're bringing it on silver screen. And whatever they cannot do on silver screen, they cross beyond and get what you call VFX animations. Thereby, see, there also you can see how hero performs supernatural or above gravity-defying stunts, everything. How this is just attitude of imitating Krishna. Krishna is the only one who can perform this. He's Ishvara, supreme controller. But since he want to imitate Krishna, whatever he cannot do in day-to-day life, he brings it on silver screen. Just he sees a hero and enjoys that he himself is hero. And whatever he cannot do in silver screen, they bring in animations. You can see Hollywood movies, how we are so much attracted. So this is the thing. So everything is perversion of spiritual world. So as soon as he completes college, then most of them get, they get their partners in college itself. Now you can see. The first year will be very so much regulated, very sincere, first mark, so much, because parents send them, oh, we have to study nicely, everything will be there, and second year slowly intermingling will be there, talking, then it end up in some so-called loving relationship. And I have instance in my own medical college where I saw one of our classmates, they were couples, means roaming together. And I heard from friends that she got pregnant, and since it's medical college, you can do anything, her so-called small Ishwaras, they aborted, and they continued final year. Then they married after final year, a house surgeon. So such things are going on. So this is current situation of our society. So ultimately, now people are thinking this marriage is for, or marriage is a license for unrestricted sex life. In a simple way, you can put in that. It's a license for sex life. In that way only they are saying. But devotees know it's only for procreation of Krishna conscious children by Garbhadana Samskara. But people take it as recreation. That is where everything turned up. And we can see here, there are late marriages. People think they want to get settled down and, oh, let me work nicely, get a good job, get more increments, get promotion. Then by that time they come out of with huge money, with independent property, like 4 BHK, 3 BHK, with Mercedes-Benz car. By that time they come out with all these things. They will cross 35, 40, and after that they want to marry. Then they'll end up producing mentally retarded children. You can see in day-to-day life. And not only rich people, even poor people, they can't do anything much, so they work for the family, and late marriages, we can see that. in Vedic life, we can see these marriages are especially is planned by parents. They see horoscope matching everything and all. But now we can see in the name of love marriages, they say, oh, no, what is the need of horoscope? Then we can see after marrying, their life become horror and no scope. And other types of marriage in society, we can see in Delhi, you would have seen 10 years back, in Delhi they put so many petitions, maybe 2, 3 or more than that, in Delhi High Court. So 2 boys came who were in their youths and they want to get married. So this is the first time in India, gay marriage coming into picture. So this is the situation. If you don't follow Shastra, either you live like an animal or you will degrade like this. And in Haryana, this was like very shocking for everyone in India, especially lesbian marriage between 2 females. Oh, what to speak of? Other things, how much degraded it is. And now in films, we can see music by A.R. Rahman, so many films getting released. And in that, one of the film was based on live-in relationships. You can see. So male and female come together, they live together, cook together, they sleep, and they say, we are friends. But in Shastra, it's mentioned clearly, male is like butter, female is like fire. Or when they come together, you cannot, nothing you can do. Senses are so powerful. And you will surely end up having sex life and illicit sex, and it takes you nowhere. And most shocking news happened last week on June 9th. It jolted whole India that it's the first time in India a girl married herself. Shocking? It's a madness. That's what Prabhupada said, madness of material world. To what extent? She arranged the marriage and she herself married. And this is from Vadodara, Gujarat. And her name is, I don't want to mention, but I heard that how she would perform this sexual relationship with her. Then it said that she kisses herself in the mirror and so many things, not to mention in the public. So this is the first time sologamy introduced in India. Sologamy. We would have heard polygamy in Shastra. But this is the first time. So such is the degraded condition of our society. So consequence of failure to sticking to scriptures and following scriptures, what will happen? Prabhupada mentions, Adanta Gobir Vishatam Tamishram. So Adanta means uncontrolled. Go means senses, we heard. So ultimately, if your senses are not controlled, then your senses will drag you to the darkest region of the hell. So ultimately, ending up as a worm or microbe. We don't know which is the darkest region. It may be even vagina of female organ. End up as a worm or microbe in vagina in 84 lakh species. And alternatively soaked and washed by menstrual fluid or sperm. We don't know. So better surrender and take up this Krishna conscious. Chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Any questions, doubts, comments? ग्रंथा श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, शिला प्रभुपाद की जय.